Throughout history, the power of protest has shaken empires, transformed societies, and given voice to the voiceless. From peaceful marches to revolutionary uprisings, these moments have shaped the world we live in today. Let's explore some of the most iconic protests in history that brought about monumental change. Protest 1. The Salt March, which happened in India. Our journey begins in 1930 when Mahatma Gandhi took a bold stand against British colonial rule. The British monopoly on salt production forced Indians to pay steep taxes on an essential commodity. In defiance, Gandhi led thousands on a 240-mile march to the Arabian Sea, where he symbolically produced salt. This nonviolent act of civil disobedience inspired millions to join India's struggle for independence, a fight that ultimately succeeded in 1947. The Salt March was not just about salt. It was a call for freedom, equality, and self-reliance. From the shores of India, we move to South Africa, where protests confronted one of history's most oppressive regimes. Protest 2. The anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. For decades, South Africans lived under apartheid, a system of racial segregation and oppression. The anti-apartheid movement, fueled by domestic resistance and international pressure, brought attention to the horrors of this system. Leaders like Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment, became symbols of the fight for freedom. Protests, boycotts, and sanctions ultimately led to the end of apartheid in 1994. Mandela's election as South Africa's first black president marked a new era of equality and reconciliation. While apartheid's fall was a victory for human rights, the civil rights movement in the United States also paved the way for justice and equality. Protest 3. The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Fast forward to 1963, when over 250,000 people gathered in Washington, D.C. to demand racial equality and economic justice. This protest became famous for Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, a vision of a future free from segregation and discrimination. The March on Washington was a turning point in the American civil rights movement, leading to landmark legislation such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The march not only highlighted the struggles of Black Americans, but also showcased the power of unity in fighting injustice. Protests in the Arab world were calling for political and social reform. Protest 4. Arab Spring in 2011. The Arab Spring began with the self-immolation of Mohamed Bouazizi, a Tunisian street vendor protesting government corruption and economic despair. This tragic act sparked mass uprisings across the Middle East, toppling dictators in Tunisia, Egypt, and Libya. While the outcomes of the Arab Spring were mixed, the protests highlighted the power of social media in mobilizing people and challenged authoritarian regimes worldwide. It was a reminder that the desire for freedom and dignity transcends borders. Let's turn our focus to the fight against systemic racism in modern history. Protest 5. Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter movement began in 2013 after the acquittal of George Zimmerman in the shooting of Trayvon Martin. It gained global traction in 2020 following the murder of George Floyd, sparking protests against police brutality and systemic racism worldwide. From Minneapolis to London to Sydney, millions joined marches calling for justice and equality. The movement has led to policy reforms, increased awareness, and a broader dialogue about racial disparities. Black Lives Matter is a testament to the enduring fight for civil rights in the 21st century. Each of these protests shows the transformative power of collective action. These protests remind us that change begins when people unite to challenge injustice. They are testaments to the courage, resilience, and determination of those who dare to dream of a better world. Which protest inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more stories of facts, figures, and history. Until next time, bye-bye, loves.